Perimenopause can happen to women in their 40s, sometimes their late 30s, and even lead into their early 50s. But it's the years leading up to menopause, can have a lot of symptoms, and weight gain is one of them. So today we're going to talk about perimenopause weight gain and what you can do about it. I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. Before we begin, if you could hit the subscribe button to learn more from my functional medicine videos about menopause, perimenopause, SIBO, gut health, hormone health, metabolic health, and hit the like button if you like this video, and hit the bell to be notified when I post new videos every week. That really helps the channel out, and you'll get tons of access to all of those tips and tricks all about functional medicine, hormone balance, gut balance, and metabolic health. So I am a functional medicine doctor. I'm a registered dietitian, and I'm a family doctor. And I have my own functional medicine practice, Highlands Health and Wellness. There's information about it in the description. And I deal with hormone health all the time with women with perimenopause and the symptoms that go along with it, how to deal with it, what you can do about it. So I come to this video with a lot of experience, and I want to share that with you in the recent series that I've done on perimenopause. So let's dive into the topic of today, which is perimenopause weight gain. So I have a lot of information, like I said, in videos on perimenopause, so you can check those out, and I'll put them in the description. There's a whole playlist. But as you may have learned from watching those other videos, or you may just know that hormone changes happen in years leading up to menopause, and it's not all just hot flashes and night sweats. What can happen is your progesterone gradually declines, and then your estrogen can spike up, kind of a last-ditch effort to try to get those ovaries in line and to get everything moving like it used to. So then you can have this gap between the estrogen and progesterone, and that can be what we call estrogen dominance and cause some of the problems I talked about in my 34 symptoms of perimenopause. It's a lot of different things that can go along with perimenopause. So too many to go into in this video, but I do have many videos on that. So that can be part of the problem with weight gain, is the changes in estrogen and progesterone and what that does to your body. Then we also think of it as puberty in reverse, because they're going up and down the hormones, and that can contribute to weight gain. The average weight gain that women experience in perimenopause is between 5 and 8 pounds, but 20% of women can have a weight gain of 10 pounds or more during this time frame. So it's a common problem. It's one of the most common things I hear about from patients, and it's something I've experienced myself. One of the causes of weight gain in perimenopause can be during that first stage, that estrogen dominant kind of stage. We can have higher ghrelin, which is our hunger hormone, so we can be more hungry. And that can lead to could lead to increased eating and weight gain in perimenopause. On the flip side, during the later stages of perimenopause, when our estrogen declines and our progesterone's already down and continuing to be down or low, we can experience higher or less of leptin, which makes us feel full. So you got that combination of the higher ghrelin in the beginning potentially, or the lower leptin later, so more hunger hormone, and then later less of the feeling full hormone. And then as you get closer to the end stages, to the later stages of perimenopause, you can experience insulin resistance and higher fasting insulin levels. So you may have difficulty with blood sugar control, and then that can contribute to weight gain. I have a lot of videos on insulin resistance, and I will put those in the description. You can also experience loss of muscle mass. That loss of muscle mass means you have less metabolically active tissue, the muscle. So you're going to burn less calories at rest when you have less muscle. So you do have to actively fight against that loss of muscle mass by adding in more strength training. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. And then also you can experience lack of sleep. We all know that that's one of the most common things in menopause and perimenopause is lack of sleep or interrupted sleep. It's something I hear the most about, if it's even above weight gain. And so that lack of sleep, we have more stress hormones. The body feels like it's in a stress state. And then we then tend to conserve our calories, and the cortisol belly happens, and we gain weight from that as well. And then looking at your cortisol levels can be a good thing, because that imbalanced cortisol can lead to more weight gain in perimenopause, and also an imbalanced or thyroid that's not appropriately managed if you're underactive thyroid, which a lot of women do have. and it might not be diagnosed, it's very underdiagnosed, that can lead to weight gain too, or make the perimenopause weight gain worse. And it may be why some women have more weight gain than others. So let's talk about what you can do about it. So I'm going to mention 5 steps. One thing is to take a look at your macros. Have it, as I've talked about in my insulin resistance and my estrogen dominance videos, like the diet videos. Definitely take a look at your carbs, your fat, and your protein levels, and see if those are where they should be. So there's no perfect macro balance for every single woman, but that's what I've mentioned. That's why I've mentioned the Lumen device. I really like that because it helps you determine, based on what you're breathing out into this device that day, what your carbs, fat, and protein should be. So it really does help you to know what to be eating as far as your macros go. But in general, I know that's a kind of a pricey device, although you do get a certain amount of money off with my link that I'll always have in the description. But anyway, so if you're not able to do that, I definitely recommend checking out my insulin resistance videos. So what I'm going to say, I'm going to sum up a little bit here, but I go into it in more detail in the metabolically flexible videos and the insulin resistance videos, is to eat less carbs than you probably used to. Depending, if you're keto, maybe you need to eat more carbs, and that's where the Lumen can help you. But if you have not been keto or eating low carb, try eating less carbs, and try eating the majority of your carbs in the morning, because your body's more insulin sensitive in the morning. And then your second amount of, like, your medium amount of carbs at lunch, and then keeping it to like 10 grams or less in the evening, and trying to finish eating at like 4 to 6 p.m. is best, giving yourself a lot of a time period to fast, which I'm going to talk about in one of these steps too. So starting with tracking, so looking at a free app like MyFitnessPal, Carb Manager is another one of my favorites that has a free version, and seeing where you're at with that, and just seeing if you can get those carbs down, maybe to like 90 to 100 grams. Sometimes you need to go a little bit lower. I can't really individualize it for you, but getting them down and just playing around with what works best for you. You may also, since if you're trying to put on muscle mass, need a little bit more protein too than you are having right now. And let me know in the comments if you've dealt with perimenopause weight gain, what your struggles have been. We all learn from each other, and we all feel better when we know that we're not alone in this. So number 2, intermittent fasting. When the hormones are going a bit crazy, intermittent fasting can be rough. So I don't recommend you go aggressive with it. Try to keep it to 14 hours, 12 to 14 hours, going above 16 hours as far as your fasting time period. Going above 16 hours can be rough and cause more of the stress hormones, and then lead to even more weight gain. Not usually, but sometimes when we're in this kind of struggle with the hormones. So don't go too aggressive, but doing a 12 to 14 hour fast is a great idea. And then build muscle through weight training. So a lot of us are doing cardio. That's what used to work in our 20s, right? For weight loss. That's what I used to do, is just go run more and then you're going to lose weight. Well, not necessarily. And that did not work for me. So, and it hasn't worked for a lot of my patients that are in their perimenopause time frame. So try to introduce more strength training. So that would be like 20 to 30 minutes of weightlifting, HIIT training, even Pilates or yoga if they have some kind of planks and things like that, which they usually do. That would involve strengthening your muscles and building muscle, because you want to build that muscle mass. So doing 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 40 twice a week, and 2 to 3 times a week is even better, is really important to build into your workout routine. And if you're not exercising, definitely start there. Start exercising. That's really important for building that muscle mass. And number 4 would be to build in that relaxation. I know I sound like a broken record. I talk about it all the time, but we definitely need to have stress management, mindfulness-based stress reduction. So meditation, putting on the Calm app at night, Headspace, doing your own free YouTube meditation. That there's plenty of them on this platform. And doing 5 to 10 minutes of meditation at night especially is helpful, because you may have trouble sleeping during perimenopause. And then starting your day out fresh with 5 minutes of meditation deep breathing is very important. I also tell my patients to do deep breathing around their meals. So it takes 3 to 4 deep breaths, breathing in, holding, and exhaling. We often say 4, 7, 8, breathing in for 4, holding for 7, exhaling for 8. 3 of those in a row before every meal. That definitely resets our stress hormones, helps us metabolize a little bit better, and make sure we get those breaths in every day. Also, trying to do those during a very stressful time frame time in your life is helpful. And then journaling can be very, very helpful. Turning the TV off, turning the phone off, turning the computer off at least an hour before bed to help you get a better night's sleep and to help with that stress reduction also. And then number 5 would be lower your inflammation. So inflammation leads to weight gain. So eating an anti-inflammatory diet, what does that mean? Eating 5 to 9 servings of vegetables a day or fruits and vegetables, with 2 or 3 of these being fruit, like lower sugar fruits like berries and pomegranate seeds and like those brightly colored fruits that aren't too sugary, can be really helpful for perimenopause and for lowering your inflammation. Turmeric, eating it, putting it in your tea, having a turmeric ginger kind of tea, and then taking it as a supplement could be helpful. Omega-3s, eating those. I recommend flax, chia, if your gut handles that, okay. It's a whole nother subject, but we can talk about, or you can see that on my SIBO videos. But flax and chia are good omega sources. Walnut and walnut oil to cook with is a good omega-3 source. Of course, fish. You don't want to go crazy with your fish 2 to 3 times a week. Making sure it's a lower mercury fish is helpful. And just getting those fruits and vegetables into, and you could take an omega-3 as well. I usually tell my patients to look for one that has at least 1,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA within a reasonable amount of pills, like 1 or 2 or 3 at the most a day, so that you can lower your inflammation too. And green tea is very anti-inflammatory. I always have a green tea with me. I love Peak Tea. I have a discount code. You can check it out, but it's tested for molds and toxins, which is really, really beneficial. And you can put it into cold or hot water, but any kind of real, it's organic. So any kind of green tea or green tea extract. Watch out for the green tea extracts that are like way too packed with caffeine. That can be a bit too stimulating for your cortisol. But, a regular green tea that you're drinking or a supplement, and I have some in my dispensary, there will be links down below in the description, can be helpful for increasing metabolism and lowering inflammation as well. And then make sure you're getting 35 grams of fiber. These are some bonus tips. And watch that sugar, 20 grams or less per day of added sugar that's not in your fruit is really helpful for lowering inflammation. So you can check out my free PDFs. I have one on insulin resistance and insulin resistance cheat sheet and my perimenopause checklist. And those will be in the description. You just need to join my email list. And basically, I just email out if I have something, an event going on, which I don't have very often, or just for the YouTube videos, giving you extra information on them. So the supplements also mentioned in last week's video can be helpful if hormone imbalance, like cortisol imbalance, thyroid, estrogen dominance, are part of your weight gain problem in perimenopause, which they are for a lot of women. So check those out. I will link them again in this description, and check out last week's video on the perimenopause supplements I like to use. And then you can check out the links I have will be linked to my full script dispensary, where you do get a discount. And those are trusted doctor, provider approved supplement source, where we know exactly where it's coming from. And it's not going to be a source where it could be, they slap a label on it. It's not actually the supplement that it's supposed to be. And they're tested for, toxins and impurities and all of that. So thanks so much for joining me. Please leave me any comments or questions in the comment section. And thanks for joining me. I will be back next week. I appreciate you liking, subscribing, and sharing so the channel can keep going. And be good to yourself and be good to the world around you. And I hope you have a great rest of your day.